Well, this may be one of the projects that I am most excited about having completed. It has been a year in progress. As soon as I bought the cottage, I knew that I wanted to have one wall that was a gallery dedicated to the photography of my bestie and brilliant photographer friend, Deborah. And we looked at a number of different locations in the cottage. Originally, I thought I wanted it to be behind the kitchen table, but ultimately that painting just spoke to me and it needed to stay there. But Stuart, right here, we might show an image of that painting behind the kitchen table. So then the next large expanse that really needed something was this wall, interestingly enough, in the bathroom. Now, this is a place where because it's kind of a public bathroom, that it will be seen not only by myself when I bathe, but also by other people when they come in and out. And definitely if I showcase it to them and emphasize just how gorgeous it is, it will definitely get a lot of spectators, I guess. So how did we decide to do this? Well, I just kind of wanted to come up with a color thematic, and she and I went through different color options. You can see here that for a while I thought, oh, maybe I wanted to do all of them being, yeah, isn't it gorgeous, this calla lily? I thought maybe I wanted to do them all in white. And then we started looking at images that she already had in her photo inventory. We looked at just different color palettes. It was probably the most difficult part of this entire project. And ultimately, I decided on this gorgeous deep magenta or cardinal red, burgundy, whatever it is, Stuart, it's the color of the month.
It is.
And I just love them. So then she and I decided that we wanted to print them out, and she actually had them printed out for me in what's kind of I don't know, it has kind of a special finish. I'll find out exactly what it's called, but we printed them out in 10 by 10 squares, and then those arrived. Then we went through the agonizing process of kind of how we wanted to frame them. I had a number of inspiration pictures of gallery walls and how I might or might not want to employ some of the different effects with matting. I got images from magazines, tear sheets of bathrooms that kind of have a similar look to mine. And then we just started playing with them. Ultimately, I decided once we got to the framer, and I had these framed at Pier 1 here on 23rd Street in Oklahoma City, that ultimately I didn't want any matting at all, that I really just wanted the images themselves. And when I saw these gorgeous brushed gold frames which had a little bit of a shadowing of a black on the inside and then definitely around the perimeter, I decided that they showcased them brilliantly. Stuart's a photographer and he approves, so they just got hung this morning. So some other things that are going to be modified in here, because it's that theory of relativity. Every one thing relates to every other thing. So now I'm looking at this table, and this is an old wicker table I've had for many, many years. I bought it at an antique store, and I think I'm going to put a black wash on the wicker so that it has more visual weight that kind of accompanies the framing, I think, a little bit better. And then I will zhuzh up, relocate, restyle everything that's on the table. I have had this chair in here. It's kind of like a spa chair, and I've decided that I want something a little bit different. I want to go more, I want something to be maybe in a dark rattan, a little bit, that has a little bit more visual weight in wood tones. So this might be gifted to maybe my son or to someone in my orbit, because I really don't have another place for it here. And Stuart, who knows, do you have a bathroom?
It's kind of a neat chair.
It is a neat chair. Yeah, it's swivel. It's very, very comfy.
I like how different it is.
It's pretty different, and it's made out of terry cloth, so it's a good thing. But I want something a little bit more statuesque and that makes a little bit more of a statement here. And so this will probably be adios. And
really good chair for playing guitar in, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, this might have to go home with you today, Stuart. I don't know. Don't say I never gave you anything. Christmas came early. And then I'm gonna be doing some styling in here. It's all about textures. It's now about this wonderful, wonderful color. I'll be looking maybe for some impressive fabrics that maybe I'll look in Santa Fe or Taos that would coordinate with the color in these prints. So I don't have that much more to do before this bathroom is complete, and pretty much almost every project inside the cottage is complete. And I'm on a little bit of a timeline because I've got that Mesta Park Holiday Home Tour coming up on December 2nd and December 3rd. Stuart, we need to put something at the end or right here that shows people where they can get tickets. And of course, we'll provide a link, and we'll also provide that on Instagram. So Stuart, what do you say we take a break here and we move to another location in the cottage? Well, I think like many of you, during COVID, I didn't travel as much as I normally do, and I'm just now starting to, I think, resurrect maybe the pattern of about how frequently I travel. And I learned one thing this week when I went home to Indiana that has really simplified things for me. Now, this is common sense stuff. You guys, I'm sure, already know this, but again, sometimes I am late to the party and I just have to learn things, and more importantly, I think observe things and what works for me in terms of making travel more easy. So I bought some new suitcases. They were not really expensive. They're called hard-sided, but they're not really. They've got some flexibility to them. They're very, very light, very lightweight, and I like that about them. They also have a certain degree of flexibility, so they're not as hard-sided as you would think. You can see here, Stuart, can you see how I can I can press them in. Now this isn't some great name brand. It's called Rockland. I bought these online. And I didn't want something, obviously, that was prohibitively heavy, but I did want something that got good reviews. And I needed a large suitcase because recently seldom do I travel on an airplane where I bring anything much larger than just a suitcase about this size. However, lately we are doing more road travel, and that gives me the luxury of being able to pack more things, especially when I go home or when I am going away for the holidays and I'm packing gifts. So I did want a larger suitcase. These came as a set. Now, what did I learn? Here's what I learned. I learned that what I really needed was 2 suitcases that are on wheels that I can pull. That way, I don't have the problem that I often have with a separate carry-all that is not on rollers and that is not kind of hard-sided, and that's how it ends up doing that thing and drives you crazy, and it's smaller and it begins to wear. Now this served its purpose for a while, and I liked it. It kind of just slipped over like this. And I think that maybe for airplane travel, that's a good idea. But for car travel, I wanted another smaller suitcase so that when I stay overnight en route to my destination, then I don't have to bring in the big bag. I can just bring in the smaller bag that has my jammies, my toiletries, all of those kinds of things in it that really fit into a suitcase that is rectangular in shape. It's got square edges and everything fits in there so much more neatly and compactly and tightly without roaming around in the suitcase, and it's so much easier to find its contents for my toiletries, for my jewelry, things like that, versus something like this that I have to dig around in, and it kind of collapses on me when I am doing said digging around. So, like I say, this is something you guys have probably already thought of, but I am late to the party, and it was so much easier. It was so much easier to get in and get out. It was also easier because of their shape to fit them very neatly into the back of Hub's Subaru when we traveled. And things just didn't get squished like they do in something like this. It's a little bit more difficult and can get quite heavy when it's filled with all of your accoutrements. So these are just, well, I just felt kind of sassy. and I just didn't feel like I struggled as much. I didn't drop things, and it was just easier to wheel them in and out. So it's a Christmas gift idea. We will put a link below, but also just a common sense idea that I'm sure you guys have already thought of, and I thought you were my friends. Why did you share it with me earlier? So that is a practical lesson that I learned just this week. Well, I've got storage on the brain. I'm getting ready to clean out, and in fact, Stuart, let's just show them the horror that is my pantry. I'm getting ready to clean out my pantry. When we first moved in, I put things in place thinking that that's where they were going to kind of stay. I don't know if you can see that very well. Not great, but it's okay. Here, I'll get out of the way, and you can come over here and you can kind of show the horror that is my pantry. But I am getting ready today to tackle this pantry as part
it's
of.
Kind of like my pantry, if I'm being honest.
Well, that bad, huh? That bad. Well, as part of my prequel to the holidays. So Thanksgiving is next week, and the Christmas holiday, the holiday home tour, all of those kind of things are not far behind. And so because of that, I really like going into the holidays feeling a little bit more organized and having good storage solutions in place if at all possible. So I am going to dedicate today to cleaning out my pantry. My question of the day for you is, if you have pantry storage ideas that I need to know, then please share them with me in the comments below. Share them with all of us. Okay, so speaking of storage, I not only like good organized storage solutions and a clean pantry, but I also really like woven textures, baskets, and things like that. So enter this topic, which is something that I've grown increasingly fond of, and that is seagrass. Now, I like it not only because it's got that textural basket quality that I like and it looks organic, but I also like it because it's inexpensive and I can use it throughout spaces, and then all of those seagrass components coordinate with one another, and there's that kind of rhythm of a certain kind of texture and material throughout a space. So I am standing just on the outside of the guest bedroom where there are components in here. This isn't really 100% style, but you can see that there are components in here of seagrass in the lamps, and most importantly, in these storage cubes that we use and that Hubs uses to house just all sorts of things, because he likes to just, his idea of good storage is just to be able to dump things into something that you don't have to take off a lid, you just dump them. Okay, so then this inspired a couple of other things. So I had a laundry hamper that I've had for a long time. You guys may recall it used to reside underneath this painting at the end of this hallway, and I had it here for a long time, and then increasingly I thought, oh, I really wanted a storage hamper that had individual units where I could separate the whites from the colors, from the towels, that kind of thing. And so I also thought that this one would be brilliant then as a storage device, a storage unit inside of the bedroom where Hubs gets dressed near his closet, and he could then use it either for dirty laundry or he could use it for whatever kind of fishing accoutrement that he has, some of his different kind of camping things, stuff like that. This is his to use as he wishes. But this way I can put this one in his bedroom by a bookshelf where he can easily get in and out of it without any sweat, and it coordinates with the storage cubes that I already have in there. And I like that because it takes a room that can otherwise look very cluttered, and often is, and very messy, and make it look a little bit tidier and a little bit more intentional. So this will go back into one of his bookshelves. This will go in here. Bye, Stuart. I'll be right back. This actually will go on a wall entering into his bathroom. And then that created the third element, and that was I wanted another laundry hamper here that had different storage units in it. So I just put this one together this morning. It was not difficult to put together, but it was difficult for me because I never read the instructions, and I had too many things going on at one time, and I wasn't being mindful. But ultimately, I prevailed, and I did. Debbie's in there. Debbie, my friend Debbie, is in there laughing at me because she knows how I roll. But this has 3 different compartments here, and you can remove each one. And so now I can divide up my laundry, and I can take this over to the washing machine and just dump it in or whatever. And this makes me feel as if, as if I have more intentionality and more of a laundry system that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of important to me. Plus, this is on casters, so I can just roll it also into the laundry room. But I also think it's kind of good looking. I think it looks like a nice wicker storage chest at the end of the hall. It's got a leather strap on it. Again, it's lightweight, and I think it really fits the bill. So there you are. There's some storage solutions, complements of this wonderful medium of Seagrass. Well, let's just say that if the holidays were a Netflix TV series, holiday series, that this is the prequel. This is the prequel to the holiday series, because I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the prep things that I am doing, starting out with what kind of floral inspiration I want to have for the big turkey day that is coming on Thursday, and also that is inspired by the color of the month, which is this really deep burgundy magenta with tones of maybe brick red, and all of this is compliments of Trader Joe's. Yes, so last week I think I diverged from my normal habits and I went to Homeland for flowers, but these are all flowers that I got from Trader Joe's, and I think that they really speak to the season, and it's kind of what my whole thematic is for this show, Stuart. It's kind of these colors in the gallery wall that we hung in the bathroom, and also here in this kind of chartreusey green, and this is a combo of carnations, alstroemeria, some hypericum berries. I've got some deep red roses somewhere in here. There we go. There they are. And then eucalyptus, which I just find indispensable this time of year, both in its leafy form like this, its sword-like shaped foliage, but also in its traditional rounded leaf-shaped foliage. And I'll show you what I did with some of those fronds. And so I put this together. Now, also when I went and got my flowers, I also am always looking for whatever kinds of seasonal plants, living plants that they have, and quite frequently they will have topiary, and as that is one of my signature touches, I picked up a couple of extra. I think I've maybe had this one for 2 years, and I keep it here in the kitchen. It's been very, very healthy and very long lasting. So I wanted a couple of more. I'm not sure where I'm going to position them exactly for the holidays, but I wanted 2 more because they look so good on either side of a mantle or of a dining room table or a sideboard. anything like that. Now, when you get them, as often is the case, when you buy them from whomever your purveyor is, they will come in this kind of wrapping, this kind of cheesy wrapping, or it's cheesy in any rate to me. And then I always put them in something else, in another container that's a little bit more attractive. In this case, I have a faux bois container, and I believe I've got another one outside in the potting area, so I will find it. Now, in addition, they come, and these were like $12, you guys. In addition, they come with these wonderful little fairy lights. And you can buy these fairy lights in bulk online, and I do, because I like to use them not only, like you could put them around the wreath, but this is what I like to do. I like to just kind of weave them through whatever flower arrangements I have, because that way when you turn out the lights in the evening, they come on, and it's just kind of special and kind of fun. And I think it makes it seem, well, it makes things glow for the holidays. Now, one other thing, and you guys, if you have a Trader Joe's, if you're fortunate enough to have a Trader Joe's in your area, let me know what some of your favorite buys are for the holidays. But one thing that has become a quick favorite around here, and that is these stolen crisps. And I think, Stuart, you probably have eaten a third of the box while you've been here. You and Leah both. And what I like about them is, if you want just a little something sweet for the holidays, these only have 80 calories per 11 crackers. So if you need something for tea time later in the afternoon, and you just need something that's a little bit crunchy and a little bit sweet, but you don't want to overdo it, then I think this is just the ticket. And then, of course, I like to keep them in my glass domed treat dish, which usually during the holidays is here on the corner of the island. And by the way, yes, this was thrifted. So there's just a couple of ideas to inspire you, compliments of Trader Joe's for the holidays. Well, even though I'm kind of a Thanksgiving purist and I don't like to mix my holidays, I really like Thanksgiving to be sacrosanct before the merriment of Christmas, Hanukkah, all of that begins to chime in. And so I like Thanksgiving to be an entity in and of itself. However, that doesn't mean that I'm not planning ahead for the holidays, planning my decor, even if I'm not putting it out. So here are just a few things that are inspiring, that are kind of my muse for this holiday season as I begin to decorate for the holiday home tour in Mesta Park on December 2nd and 3rd. So obviously this year I'm doing things differently than I did in past years at the other house. The cottage, particularly the parlor, is crying out for different tones, different hues, different colors, primarily in shades of kind of teals and blues. And so I am trying to accommodate the parlor. And because of that, for the first time in many, many years, I've had some new stockings made. Now, we have our traditional stockings. I've showed them to you in the past, and I'm sure I'll show them to you again. But I wanted some in here that were largely just decorative, but nevertheless, that speaks to the fact that we have some new family members. So I had these icy blue linen stockings made. These were made by someone on Etsy, and yes, I will put the link. And so I have, let's see who all is here. I have Jamie 1 and Jamie 2, because we've got 2 Jamies here. Delphia is represented, Johnny's new wife. She'll be here later in December. Taylor, my other new daughter-in-law from year before last, Jamie's wife, who lives in Denver. And then obviously my son Johnny, Delphia's husband, and then moi, pulling up the rear. So all of these, I just got these. I just got them. They need to be steamed and pressed. I will probably fill them with some kind of, I don't know, polyester stuffing or whatever to make them look full and as if they've got lots of goodies in them. And then all of the treats that I have that will be coming out of them, again, more for decorative purposes than really for practical consumptive ones. Those will be in this same tonal range of these icy blues and teals. So that is kind of the prequel holiday prep for Christmas. Now, along those same lines, I am also going to be doing my gift wrap, and in those same hues. So the gift wrap for the gifts that will be in the parlor and under the parlor tree is distinct and different from the gift wrapping that will be in the great room and under the tree that will be, excuse me, in the great room. And by say in the great room, actually visible from the great room, because the tree there will actually be on the table outside of the casement windows. It's going to be a very traditional old-fashioned tree, which will largely have ornaments that are of a natural materials. And I'm going to put some of these old-fashioned lights. Doesn't this just really jettison you back? Yeah. I love the fact that they're packaged in an old-fashioned box. So the outside tree that will be a real tree will be adorned with these lights. So that's another prequel thing. I bought 2 boxes of them. One of them had some broken lamps, and so I need to get another box. So that's another thing on my prequel. Okay, but I digress. Back to my my gift wrapping. So this year, I really wanted to use gift wrap that I could use year-round, not just at Christmas. So in the past, I have saved a lot of my Christmas wrap, because you know I don't like to throw things away. And I just kept using up the inventory of Christmas wrap that I had down in the basement at the other house. But when we moved, a lot of that went bye-bye. A lot of it went to charity, thrift stores. A lot of it went to just different people. But I got rid of all of my old Christmas wrap because I really wanted to start afresh. So along those same lines of the blue tones that I've got here in the cottage, and the fact that I didn't want them to be in traditional holiday patterns and colors, I got this gorgeous gift wrap. I mean, look at how beautiful it looks with my couch. So if I'm styling things, you know, if I'm styling things for a magazine shoot or for some videos that we might have coming our way, Stuart, that's a little tease. And also for the home tour, then I love how beautifully that coordinates with the other elements in the room. And then because I've got a different color paper, I also want a different color ribbon. And so this is some of that beautiful velveteen ribbon that I bought online long ago, thinking that this might be my color sway. And so I can use all of these interchangeably on the packages. And then what I'll probably do, because these are a matte finish, what I'll probably do is come in with some kind of pop of gold thread that will probably be attached to the gift tag that will denote to whom that gift belongs. So I'll have a little bit of gold on there, maybe maybe a little gold pine cone. I'm not really sure at that point. I haven't begun to wrap, but I think it'll be absolutely beautiful. And then, as I said, the gift wrapping in the back will be different, and I will show you that in a future episode probably. It very much speaks to the aesthetic in that room, but I think that'll be fun. And I actually already have some Christmas gifts that I will get ready to wrap. Something else as preparation and a prequel to set on the bar in the parlor. Again, I didn't want something red and green, so I got these cute little spiky things that I can use for hors d'oeuvres. I can use them in drinks. I can even use them on packages. They're just white snowflakes in different patterns, and I think they're kind of fun, and they'll also just look cute kind of sitting out. And these would make good smile presents, Stuart.
Yeah.
These definitely, a little bouquet of these would make good smile presents. So that might be a potential smile present for December. And then lastly, I just want to give a shout out to someone that I have discovered very recently, thanks to one of my followers who shared this Instagram account with me. And the account is called Sister Sister Golden, and we will put a link to it on Instagram. But it is a woman, and I believe her daughter is also part of the production team. But she makes these beautiful works of art out of all natural components. So all of leaves, fronds, all sorts of things, sticks, whatever Mother Nature provides as to use on her canvases. And this was one that particularly spoke to me. And then she makes prints off of them, and then I believe she composts the originals. And you can see, if you look at it closely, you can see that she designs the image, and then she selects the leaf shape that will most accurately represent whatever the visual is.
They will have to go look, because it's kind of hard to tell.
It's kind of hard to tell.
Well, it's actual like photos of things. Is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is a photo
like
of these natural
Yeah,
elements.
it's really
So
neat.
I'm going to guess that up here, that looks like it might be some yew, some branches of yew or some kind of evergreen. And then all of the golds are just leaves. There's probably some bark. So the original,
The shadows are neat, how it's above everything.
yes, the original mosaic of this was done from all natural elements, and I just loved it. So I bought one of the prints because it spoke to me so much, and the genius with which she composes these. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Oh my goodness, go back and look at all of her work. So I bought this one because it was my very favorite. But then for the parlor, I also got a smaller one with that deep blue background. And look, this looks to me like it's some kind of artemisia or, some kind of artemisia or Dusty Miller or something. And then obviously the bare branch in the back is representative of a deciduous tree that has lost its leaves. And and the little houses, the little village at the bottom made of all leafy components. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on this artist, and definitely check her out on Instagram. So those are just a few of the things that are on my prequel to the holiday series that will be coming up in December. But I've got one last prequel that is much more important right now, and that is some ideas that I have for my Thanksgiving table. Okay, so I'm really beginning to plan my Thanksgiving table settings. I have told you ad nauseum that I really wanted to be able to have it outside, but I've been checking the weather, and I think, Stuart, the high for Thanksgiving is only going to be 45 degrees. So we will definitely have a fire going out there, and maybe the bar will be set up out there, but it looks like my tables are going to have to be set up here in the kitchen. Now, right now, as I've always said, before beauty, there is chaos, and the kitchen is really in kind of a state of chaos right now. But here are some of the things that I am thinking about and ways that I'm going to be styling my table. But first, practicalities. Okay, this table, this, by the way, so many of you have asked, this is from Litfad, Litfad. I bought it online. It took a while to get here. And the bench is actually from Amazon. And this is one of my most favorite things I have ever purchased on Amazon. They were out of stock for a while. I think they're back in stock. And then, of course, I have the banquette. So practicalities. I can seat 6 at this table, and I shall. So there will be 6 seated here. I will remove all of the pillows, all of the things kind of surrounding this area to make navigation easier and to make it not quite so crowded. But 6 people can sit here comfortably. We have done it in the past, and we will do it in the future. Now there's going to be 12 of us. So I'm going to need a second table. So I have one of those long rectangular 6-top tables that I will be putting in here. And obviously it will be very close if I don't relocate some things. So this is where we have pineapple or fruit basket turnover, Stuart. So see if you can follow along with me here. So this dad chair will be relocated. And again, everything in here is chaotic, so I'm not even going to apologize for it because we're just the stage we're in. So this chair typically resides here. So the dad chair that is in the kitchen, the overstuffed dad chair that matches this one, will be relocated here on the other side of the table that sits in the window. And by the way, my very favorite place to sit when it gets cold outside. These two chairs are actually the head chairs for the dining set that I used to have. And these will be at the head of the table that is going to be located right about in here, down the center. And there will be enough room to do that. I'm not going to seat, so that'll be 6 plus 6 is 12, and I'll have enough places. I will not have anybody sitting at the bar, so in all likelihood, I will make the bar stools go away into another room, so there is more access through here, and in all likelihood, this will be the sideboard from which we will serve all of our goodies. So there'll be a lot more room right here, and I think navigation will be fine. Now, what I will probably do is temporarily, so that I have more vertical room through here, I will probably temporarily relocate the settee. So I can move it over there, I can put it on an angle. There's multiple things that I can do so that we have more room again to navigate. So that's the practicalities of it. This main table will have a beautiful tablecloth on it with my table setting. Any large arrangements that I do will be located in other places because you know I am a gal who has to have her fabulous autumnal arrangements on Thanksgiving. Those will either be on the sideboard in the parlor. I'm just not really sure where those will go, but they will definitely express themselves someplace. So then let's get back to the aesthetics and my theme for the holidays. Okay, so my theme for Thanksgiving, as I told you, was turkeys. And so I've been playing with different ways that I can use these wonderful tea towels that I bought online as napkins without really hiding Mr. Tom. And so what I decided to do was just take a napkin ring, put it just in the corner because I have folded the napkin just so. You can still see Mr. Tom Turkey. And then because it has to be kind of garden inspired after all, I've been collecting beautiful leaves from my neighborhood. And I will just tuck those in there. And you can see that I've already collected a lot of them. I love these in particular that are kind of a mahogany color. I think they're beautiful. They almost look like wood. And I've been flattening them. And then because I also bought some turkey feathers, I will put a turkey feather in there. And of course, I will zhuzh it appropriately so that it stands up straight and it does what I want it to do. Then I'll have my crystal, I'll have my flatware. I also always pretty much use a place tag at a place setting so people know where they sit because of the fact that it's a little bit tight, I will take that into consideration where people sit, and there will be a place card right there. And then because I want everybody to have a little treat, I think these we have sold, I say we, the link has sold so many of these because I think they're so cute. So I have these and there will be at each place setting. And then I will probably, I'm not really sure, I might even just use these as individual butter dishes. I might put tea lights in there. I'm not really sure. I might put Jordan almonds in there or just nuts. I'm not really sure, but those will be there. Then as a charger, I'm just going to use my regular dishes that I have that I got at Target. And then I had some of these chargers. And so on this table, I am going to use the chargers because this table is not rectangular. and I don't want a lot of fabric overflowing along the edge. But I will have 6 place settings here, and then I'll probably just have candles and just a few things, room enough for wine, for butter, for salt and pepper and things in the center. And obviously, before the big day, I will show you my place settings. And then I will do the same here, but I will lose the chargers and I will just have a gorgeous tablecloth, but the other ingredients will be the same. And then probably for some kind of centerpiece or whatever, I see maybe just wheat, leaves, all natural elements, and the color palette will be kind of repeated in the flowers and things. So this year I wanted to do something that was a little more simple. Last year, Stuart, you may recall, was très élégant, because we took a thrifted item, we spray painted it gold. It was all gold and malachite green. It was very, very elegant. And this year, I really wanted the contrast of something that was a little bit earthy, more earthy, and that celebrates Tom Turkey. You know, celebrates the big bird himself. So I think it will be great. I am disappointed we won't be able to eat outside, but at some point I anticipate we will be able to do so. So there's just a little bit of the prequel to the series that is the holidays. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you maybe got some ideas, a little bit of inspiration. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. Hit the like button. Share this with others, but most importantly, really take a quiet moment to meditate on all of the things that we have to be thankful for. Take care.